From the flashy winger who never stays in his position, to a good boy glued to his backline, these are e-football playing styles, explained with real footballers. Starting with the postman. An attacking goalkeeper is basically a failed center back forced to wear gloves. He rushes out of his goal during crucial moments to clear danger before it becomes a problem. But sometimes he gets a little too excited and... The defensive goalkeeper. His only concern is protecting the post. He doesn't rush out, he doesn't gamble. His only job is to keep. We're done with the one protecting the goal. Now let's talk about the ones protecting the one protecting the goal. The build-up is a traditional defender that always stays back. Think of him like the good boy boyfriend. He respects your body. He doesn't rush out aggressively or abandon his position carelessly. He defends properly and helps you build from the back safely. They only play at center back. Extra frontman. They're like build-up defenders, but with behavioral issues. They still protect the defensive line well, but occasionally they feel the uncontrollable urge to join the attack. Think of them like the bad boys of defending. They always go in raw, then leave you dealing with the consequences. They step out of position, charge forward aggressively, and somehow make chaos look beautiful. And sometimes, it actually works. But if the attack fails, bro, you are finished. Because now your defense is missing an entire human being. That's the risk of loving chaos. Sometimes you get magic. Sometimes you concede the dumbest goal imaginable. They only play at center back. Destroyer. These guys are very aggressive. They don't care about structure, they just want the ball. They naturally rush out of position to pressure the ball holder recklessly and aggressively. They live by one ideology. If you miss the ball, don't miss the leg. Destroyers play at center back, defensive midfield, and central midfield. Quick pro tip. Your defense should have at least one build-up defender for stability. Then you pair him with either a destroyer, an extra frontman, or both. Build-up plus build-up works too if you want safety and structure. But never use double destroyers or double extra frontmen unless you enjoy tactical terrorism. Because once both defenders start abandoning their position at the same time, your defense will be, unpredictable. Now let's get back to the side defenders. Offensive fullback. These are modern fullbacks that do two things very well: defending and overlapping. They naturally overlap the wingers to provide width, support attacks, and whip dangerous crosses into the box. But if you lose possession while they're high up the pitch, congratulations! You've just given the opponent an entire highway to counter through. Thankfully, they have high speed and stamina stats, so they track back aggressively to restore the defensive shape. They only play in the fullback positions, right back and left back. Defensive fullback. These are the old school, traditional, disciplined, and boring fullbacks. I call them the side build-up. They don't overlap. Their main job is to stay back, protect the wings, and avoid leaving dangerous spaces for counterattacks. They only move forward occasionally when the entire team is already attacking safely. Defensive fullbacks are compatible only in the fullback positions. Fullback Finisher. This is where things get tactically modernized. These are offensive fullbacks that don't stay wide and overlap traditionally. Instead, they invert into central areas to create overloads in midfield and attack. Occasionally, they still overlap the wings, but most of the time, they behave like second strikers. I call them born to be strikers, forced to be defenders. They attack so well that once you lose possession, brother, you are finished. Because there's no chance of him going back to cover. They only play in the fullback positions. We're done with the defensive playing styles. Let's go to the connection between the attack and the defense. The zone where football matches are won. Beginning with the most ignored role in e-football, The Anchorman. This is the guy everybody uses, but nobody gives a fuck on how he actually moves. Let me give you a mind map of how an Anchorman moves. Think of him like a sniffer police dog in airport security checks, but instead of drugs, he sniffs out defensive leaks when others are out of position, then temporarily plugs the gap up. When teammates abandon their position, he quietly shifts across to cover the empty space. Unlike destroyers that aggressively chase the ball holder, the Anchorman stays calm, reads the danger, and blocks passing lanes intelligently. He rarely joins attacks. Even on all-out attack, this guy still prefers staying back to protect the defense like rent is due tomorrow. His only compatible position is defensive midfield. The Orchestrator. The game reader. The tactical mastermind that controls the match from deep. He's the one controlling the tempo of the game. He attacks gracefully. Unlike destroyers that aggressively hunt the ball, or anchormen that sit deep protecting the defense, the Orchestrator moves intelligently to receive possession, then launches attacks from midfield. He reads the rhythm of the game and knows exactly when to slow things down or speed things up. Think of him as the midfield DJ. He mixes passes like a playlist. Short, long, fast, slow, whatever fits the tempo of the match. He plays mainly in central midfield, but can also operate as a defensive midfielder. Quick pro tip. If you're using a double DM setup, pair an Anchorman with an Orchestrator if you want control, balance, and smooth build-up. Pair an Anchorman with a Destroyer if you want aggression, pressure, and tactical violence. I hope you're enjoying the video. Actually, forget hope. You are enjoying it. So like the video already. This is part of the Building the Perfect Formation series. We already did the hard part, explaining eFootball playstyles. Now we were supposed to move on to formations that fit each playstyle. But I feel it's better to first explain the players and instructions, then fully move into formations. That way we can mix everything we've learned and start creating formation combinations like it's nothing. Now let's continue with the midfielder that defends like a warrior and attacks like a striker depending on the situation. Box-to-box midfielder. This guy is the all-round machine. He can defend, he can attack, he can pass, he can shoot, but his greatest strength is his relentless movement. He sprints across the pitch non-stop, whether the team is attacking or defending. His stamina is the ammo. He's the "I'll do it myself" midfielder. If it's attack, suddenly he appears inside the opponent's box. If it's defense, he's already sprinting back to hunt the ball holder. This guy genuinely cannot sit still. He doesn't need you. You need him. He mainly plays central midfield, but can also operate as a DMF, RMF, and LMF. The only reason he isn't compatible with AMF is because it's beneath him. That role cages his movement too much. The Hole Player. This guy is exactly what his name suggests. He was born to penetrate holes. Whether tight or loose, he goes in anyways. The Hole Player constantly makes aggressive runs into half spaces and dangerous gaps in the defense. Think of him as a goal poacher, but in midfield. He's extremely effective for counterattacking football because he attacks spaces early before defenders can react. He tracks back occasionally, but let's be honest, his real addiction is attacking. He mainly plays attacking midfield, but is also compatible as a second striker, right midfielder, left midfielder, and center midfield. The Creative Playmaker. This is the most common playstyle in the game. He reads football like a genius and constantly gives you the safest passing option to start attacks. Unlike players that aggressively attack spaces, the Creative Playmaker prefers coming toward the ball to receive possession first, then create from there. He gets the ball, controls the tempo, then creates chances through smart passing, movement, and vision. Occasionally, he'll attack spaces himself, but only when the opportunity is safe and intelligent. This guy doesn't force chaos. He creates order from chaos. He mainly plays as an attacking midfielder, but is also compatible with second striker, right midfielder, right winger, and left winger. Basically, If the role involves creativity, he can play there. The classic number 10. Before the rise of modern creative playmakers, there was the traditional classic number 10. These were the magicians of football. They could dribble, pass, shoot, and create magic from almost anywhere. But there was one problem. These guys refused to run. They didn't press aggressively. They didn't chase defenders. They didn't constantly move toward the ball. Instead, they waited for the game to come to them. Then once they received possession, they created chaos with pure technique and creativity. But modern football evolved. Teams became more intense. Everybody needed to press, defend, and move constantly. So the classic number 10s slowly started disappearing, or evolved into modern creative playmakers. And that's the biggest difference between both playstyles. The classic number 10 waits for the ball to arrive. The creative playmaker goes to the ball first, then creates from there. The classic number 10 is rare in modern football, and even rarer in eFootball. But when used properly, these players are pure football art. He mainly plays as an attacking midfielder, but is also compatible with second striker. The cross specialist. This is probably the most straightforward player in the entire game. He hugs the touchline like his life depends on it. He never cuts inside, never roams centrally. His only mission is stay wide, create width, and whip dangerous crosses into the box all game long. This guy stretches the opponent's defense horizontally so your attackers have more space centrally. He mainly plays as right midfielder and left midfielder, but is also compatible with right winger and left winger. Pro tip: for a two-man attacking midfield setup, one of the best combinations is creative playmaker plus hole player. Why? Because one comes deep to receive the ball, while the other aggressively attacks space. That balance gives you constant passing options and dangerous through-ball opportunities. Now, if you want an attacking midfielder that basically behaves like a second striker, creates, dribbles, shoots, and barely cares about defending, use a classic number 10. These guys permanently live near the final third. Find them, then let the magic happen. Combine a creative playmaker with a classic number 10 and you'll get control, creativity, and smooth possession football, but less aggressive space penetration. Now let's get to the best part of football, the attackers. The guys that score the goals, win the Ballon d'Ors, steal all the headlines, and somehow still refuse to track back. Roaming flank. These are the fake wingers of eFootball. This player doesn't truly love the wing, he loves the ball. Roaming flanks constantly drift inside to receive possession, create chances, dribble centrally, and combine with teammates in half spaces. They cut inside a lot, and I mean a lot. If you want pure width, don't use them, because these guys naturally abandon the touchline and roam through central attacking areas instead. But if you want dangerous central penetration and creative dribbling, this is your guy. And here's a quick tip. Pair them with an attacking fullback. Why? Because while the roaming flank moves inward, the fullback provides the width from outside. That balance makes the attack much more dangerous. They mainly play right wing forward and left wing forward, but are also compatible with right midfielder and left midfielder. The prolific winger. This is your classic traditional winger. He stays wide to receive the ball, stretch the defense, and give the team width. But occasionally, when he smells danger near the box, he cuts inside to assist in scoring goals. Unlike roaming flanks that abandon the wing completely, the prolific winger still respects the touchline. Think of him as wide first, killer second. He only plays on the wings, right wing forward and left wing forward. Dummy runner. This is probably the most misunderstood play style in eFootball. Think of him as a box-to-box midfielder, but shoved into attack. This guy's movement is pure chaos. Sometimes he drifts diagonally into space, sometimes he drops backwards, sometimes he runs away from the ball holder. Sometimes he just stands there like he forgot football is happening. And somehow, that's exactly what makes him dangerous. Dummy runners constantly manipulate defenders with unpredictable movement. They drag defenders out of position, create spaces for teammates, and randomly appear in dangerous areas you didn't even notice were open. Even you, as the controller, sometimes don't understand what he's doing. Then, boom! Suddenly he's free in the box like he teleported there. That's the beauty of the playstyle. The downside? He's unpredictable. The upside? He's unpredictable. He was born for the second striker role, but is also compatible with attacking midfield and center forward. Deep lying forward. This is basically the false nine system. Unlike traditional strikers that stay high beside the last defender, the deep lying forward drops into midfield almost like an attacking midfielder. He wants the ball first, not the run. Sometimes he drags a center back with him. Then players like hole players or goal poachers attack the empty space left behind. And this is very important. Don't through ball to him, pass to him, because he naturally moves toward the ball instead of constantly running behind defenders. He's excellent at holding possession, linking play, building attacks, and creating space for runners around him. But when he finally sees the perfect opening, that's when he runs. And because defenders are already used to him dropping deep, those late runs become extremely dangerous. This is one of the best forwards for possession football. He mainly plays center forward, but is also compatible with second striker if you want him dropping even deeper. Target man. This is the bully. This striker is not interested in the build-up play at all. His job is simple: make the center backs as uncomfortable as possible. He uses his body, strength, and aggression to pin defenders, block their movement, and dominate physical duels. Instead of constantly running behind the defense, he prefers receiving the ball with his back to goal while waiting for runners around him. These guys are monsters physically, strong in the air, dangerous in headers, and excellent at holding possession under pressure. And here's the important part: don't through ball to him. He's not trying to outrun defenders. The target man only attacks space when defenders are disorganized or pulled out of position. Otherwise, he stays central and bullies people professionally. His finishing and heading are deadly, but his movement depends heavily on the defensive line around him. He's only compatible at center forward. Fox in the box. This is the striker that has already suffered enough. Think of him like a veteran soldier. He's done all the unnecessary running before. Now he only moves when it actually matters. This striker doesn't make hopeful runs. He doesn't want maybe. He only attacks spaces when the opportunity is too good to ignore. Runs that you must pass to. That's why Fox-in-the-box players are masters of positioning. They read rebounds, anticipate second balls, find dangerous spaces inside the box, and always seem to appear exactly where the ball lands. Not because they're faster, but because they think faster. They make occasional runs, combine beautifully in 1-2s, and conserve energy until the perfect moment appears. So don't spam through balls to them. They won't chase nonsense. This guy moves with experience, patience, and timing. He only activates at center forward. The goal poacher. This is the crackhead runner. This striker has one unhealthy obsession: getting behind the last defender as fast as humanly possible. Space or no space, he runs anyway. This is the striker you use for counterattacks and breaking stubborn defensive lines. Unlike Fox in the box that waits patiently, the goal poacher never stops moving. He doesn't wait for you to pass first. Nah, he makes the run first, then expects you to notice it. And if the pass fails, he'll run again, and again, and again. I like to think of him as a gas particle trapped inside a container, constantly moving. Hit the wall, bounce back, run again. This guy genuinely cannot sit still. He's only compatible at center forward. Pro tip: if you're using a single striker, your choice should depend on how you want to attack. Fast counterattacks? Use a goal poacher. Cross-spamming and aerial duels? Use a target man or Fox in the box. Slow possession buildup? Use a deep lying forward or Fox in the box. Now, when you start using two strikers, this is where the real tactical combinations begin. The goal poacher is basically the universal blood type of attackers. He works with almost everyone. Pair him with a deep-lying forward. The DLF drops deep, drags defenders out, then the goal poacher attacks the empty space. Pair him with a target man. The target man physically occupies defenders while the goal poacher attacks gaps around him. Pair him with a fox in the box. Now you have an energetic runner constantly disturbing the defense, while the veteran fox waits patiently for the perfect opening. That combination creates beautiful 1-2s and dangerous movement inside the box. There's also goal poacher plus goal poacher, fox plus dummy runner, and countless other combinations. It all depends on your creativity and your style of play. Now, I've been talking about compatible positions this whole time. Hole players at AMF, roaming flanks at RMF, goal poachers at CF. So this means the playstyle only activates when the player is in the correct position. But what happens when they're not? What happens if you put a box-to-box midfielder at right back? Or a fox in the box at second striker? Or even an attacking goalkeeper at center forward? To explain this properly, let's use Valverde of Real Madrid as an example. Valverde is naturally a box-to-box midfielder. But during the 2022 season, Ancelotti used him at right back because of injuries. Now, Valverde already understood two basic things about fullbacks: protect the flank and overlap for the winger. So that's exactly what he did. Because he already had good passing, stamina, and kicking power, his crossing was effective. And since he was naturally aggressive, his sliding tackles were good too. But his positioning? Let's just say, manageable. He wasn't overlapping as naturally as Carvajal, and he wasn't recovering into defensive positions fast enough either. But despite the awkward positioning, he was still useful because his stats were good. And that's exactly what happens when you play someone outside their compatible playstyle position. The playstyle's off-the-ball movement disappears. Now the player becomes what I call a null player. Their positioning becomes general, and their actual stats become the main thing carrying them. Take this Messi card, for example, and put him, a prolific winger, at the AMF position. He won't constantly attack spaces like a hole player, and he won't always drop toward the ball like a creative playmaker. Instead, he'll just freestyle around the attacking midfield area and react to space naturally. But since he has good offensive awareness plus strong passing and dribbling stats, he'll still perform magic on the ball and create or score good chances. So understand this: when a playstyle is used outside its compatible position, the playstyle deactivates. An attacking goalkeeper and a prolific winger will technically make the same generic runs at center forward. But because the winger has better offensive awareness, dribbling, and finishing, he'll obviously perform way better there than the goalkeeper. Another thing you need to understand is that a player can have different play styles depending on the card version. Take Lionel Messi, for example. This card is a prolific winger. This was the young Ankara Messi era. Pure winger, wide positioning, explosive dribbling, direct attacks. This one is a deep-lying forward. The older, lazy World Cup Messi that controlled games centrally, dropped deep, created chances, and dictated attacks. This one is a roaming flank. The 21-year-old kissing the boot celebration Messi. Honestly, this version should have been a deep-lying forward because that false 9 performance in the final was ridiculous. But I think Konami based the card on the entire 2009 season. Back then, Messi still started from the wing a lot before drifting into the center to combine with Xavi and Iniesta in midfield. So technically, he wasn't the full false 9 prototype we saw later in 2015. He truly was a roaming flank. So understand this: same player, different eras, different movement, different playstyles. That's why before using any card, check the playstyle carefully. The player you think is a hole player might actually be completely different because the card represents another version of their career. Playing styles. Understand this, and building formations suddenly becomes 10 times easier. Now you finally understand why some players feel incredible in one position and completely brain dead in another. But you need to revisit the tactics video showing on your screen, because learning how players move is one thing, but learning how the entire team moves, that's where your football becomes terrifying. I use the old PES 21 tactics to break down every single playstyle, from possession game all the way to out wide, aka cross and in. Okay, I'm giving away too much already. I'll see you there. Don't forget, Jesus loves you.